If you're a non-tech founder who's new to app development, you might have heard of the term and you sort of understand it, but you also sort of don't. It's great that you clicked on this video then. I want to take away that sort of and leave you with total clarity on what a product roadmap is and its essential components. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 5 key elements that make a product roadmap a product roadmap. Goals, user persona, user stories or features, time, budget. You'll also see 3 different ways a product roadmap can be presented and decide for yourself which applies most to your situation. After all, there is no single template to all product roadmaps, but all product roadmaps share a single purpose. A good product roadmap will always communicate how a product meets business objectives and the vision of the product and the work needed to get there. With no roadmap, output just won't be as good, as fast, as cohesive, or as cost effective. I'm not saying you won't work hard without a roadmap, but all that hard work means less. A roadmap is how you tell the difference between work that drives the project forward and just work. You wouldn't build a house without a blueprint. You wouldn't enroll in a course without a syllabus. So why in the world would you go into app development without a product roadmap? Here's a scene from 2004 hit film iRobot to convince you.
My logic is undeniable.
Yes, Vicky. Undeniable. I can see now.
The first thing you'll want to record in the roadmap is your goals. Before we understand goals, we need to understand vision. Your vision is your view of the future, how you want to change tomorrow, if you don't mind being a little bit corny. Goals are specific metrics that make your tomorrow possible. Goals are easy to understand, actionable, measurable, and achievable. For that reason, goals often include a specific range or number. Top 10 position on Apple's App Store, 50,000 in monthly revenue, 5 separate SKUs, 20 new users daily, and all within a reasonable time frame. It matters whether or not you achieve them for sure, but it matters even more to have them in the first place. Written down and fully understood by team members. You add them all up and your vision becomes a reality. If we look at my sample roadmap for an actual client, by the way, we see concrete targets. It's something where we can objectively say we've either succeeded, still on the way to success, or we've just not yet achieved it. If you plan to generate revenue through your app, and who doesn't, one goal I highly suggest is a realistic revenue target. Don't Icarus yourself and fly into the sun, but don't lowball yourself. Commit to an achievable number within an achievable time frame. It puts you under the kind of pressure that makes you perform. With goals out of the way, the next element of a roadmap is the user persona. These are fictional representation of your target audience. What's not fictional is the research that must be done on demographics, behaviors, needs, and goals. These are the people you're selling your solution to. If you half-ass this step, you'll be selling to a demographic that doesn't exist. Good luck hitting those revenue goals then. You can have as many user personas as is relevant to your solution. Each persona should have a name, a picture, a job title, and an overview of relevant details such as age range, life goals, challenges, preferences, tech savviness, really anything that could affect their buying habits you want to know and you want your team to know. With a persona fleshed out, you can tailor your product to meet not just the needs of your users, but their wants. It takes your product from just viable to lovable. Don't think it matters? Imagine this. 2 calendar apps, but one is grey, the other one is dazzling pink. Both are trying to sell to a 6-year-old girl whose hobby is kissing frogs and hoping they turn into prince. Which do you think she'll pick? Biases and preferences matter, which is why I've teamed up with HubSpot. Whenever we run road mapping workshops with new and sometimes even seasoned founders, they struggle an awful lot with putting together even a decent user persona. If you're serious about truly understanding your users and what makes them buy, I recommend using HubSpot free buyer persona template generator. This tool allows you to create a complete user persona in minutes by asking you for relevant details about the persona including age range, education level, industry, organization size, where they are in their careers, their aspirations and pain point, the tools that they need to do their job, their preferred social media platforms, and many more. It then collates these details into a super easy to read persona that you can export as PDF and share with every member of your team. And yes, the persona is fully editable. So if you learn something new, add, subtract or edit as you see fit. It even comes with a detailed guide on how you can continue to build on the initial file. I especially recommend chapter 3 where they explain how to conduct user interviews. By the time you finish this, you'll be teaching developers how to put together user personas. Link is in the description. Thank you HubSpot for making this resource free. Next up, features. Features equals app, because your app is just the sum of all its features. A feature refers to a new or improved functionality that delivers value to users. They provide more detailed information about new functionality and include capabilities, components, UI designs, and performance upgrades. Each feature addresses a particular goal, provides a unique benefit to users, and contributes to the overall vision of the product. And not all features are equal. Some cannot be built without other features already in place. Some are essential, others are nice to have. Easy to prioritize between those two. But what happens when you need to choose between two essential features? When your wife and your mother get into a fight, whose side do you take? That's where it pays to have a solid user persona to lean on. Look at your product through the eyes of your user persona. What are their most urgent problems and which feature best addresses that? That's the feature you prioritize every time. So be sure to check out HubSpot User Persona Generator. My team and I have always categorized features like this. You're looking at all the features this app will have with the option of adding more. Essential features go under MVP, less essential ones go under future development. We also arrange features sequentially so we know what gets built first and what comes after. Another observation from road mapping workshops: too many features under MVP. It's far more likely that first-time founders overcomplicate than oversimplify. Something to be very careful of. Now we go to our last two elements, which I'm going to talk about together: time and budget. I'm putting them together because they are two halves of one whole, your overall resources. If you're Bill Gates, this doesn't apply to you. Also, hi Bill. For mere mortals, you have a limited amount of time and money, and you need to see a whole ass software development project through the end. You need to plan. In our product roadmap with our client, you will see a pretty comprehensive breakdown of where their money is going and when they can expect certain milestones to be reached. We start off with the total amount and estimated time. Then we drill down into the scope. What exactly are we doing in that time? And after it's completed, we've included estimates of maintenance costs for third-party subscriptions like hosting and storage. Keep in mind those will go up if the user base grows and there's heavier usage. And since this is a developer-client document, there's a payment plan based on work done. Product roadmap always includes dates to show when new features and updates will be completed, tested, and released. Depending on the level of detail, you might want to drill down into days, to weeks, to months, sometimes even years. I've always preferred no more than 6 months, to be honest. Frankly, any planning beyond that is going to change anyway. But it doesn't hurt to be farsighted. When it comes to cost estimates, the specific numbers are unique to the project. But get used to seeing lots of zeros. Okay, elements covered. Now we look at formats for your product roadmap. Here's a recap of the elements of a product roadmap.
Sugar, spice, everything nice, chemical X.
Oh wait, that's the formula of the Powerpuff Girls. The actual recap is goals, user persona, user story and features, time, and budget. When combined in a visual, easily understood manner, you get a product roadmap. How do you combine them in a visually, easily understood manner? Like I said, there's no one template. There's tons of format you can use. I'll just show you 3 of them. Number 1, features roadmap. This is the one we use at Upstack Studio and which has served us well over the years. As you can see, it displays the features that will be completed in the coming months for the whole team to see. We can expand on each feature and add details about the benefits it brings to the users, or clients can leave questions which we can answer right away. And of course, if priorities change, we just rearrange the sequence. Because we follow an agile approach of continuous development, This format is useful for timely project reviews and changes. Of course, what works for us might not work for you. So here are 2 more formats to consider. I've taken them from aha.io's site and they are daddies of product road mapping. Number 2, releases roadmap. Here, you see different lines, each representing the projected release time for new features or updates. Where there are overlaps, you see how multiple features are worked on simultaneously. You also see features that lead into another, telling teams that one needs to happen before the other can. This is especially useful if you have cross-functional teams that needs to pass the baton. Team A needs to know that Team B won't be able to start work until Team A is done, meaning Team A is less likely to goof off. Now I think about it, my team does like to goof off. Thank you for the idea. Now, the last format we'll look at. Number 3, strategy roadmap. On the left, you can see high-level business or product strategies, and on the right, we can see progress bars with specific actionable goals. This could be the roadmap for you if you are part of a board of directors who don't have the luxury of finding out the details about an app. You just want to know the main strategic points are being met and will continue to be met. Bill Gates, if you're still watching, this one is for you. A product roadmap is essential for a team to function. That applies to solo founders as well. You are a one-man team, and whether or not you consciously plan, you have a plan. See, nobody builds apps without a product roadmap. Even if you don't write one down, you have a vision in your head. But it's going to be fuzzy, and you can never be sure if you are prioritizing properly. Expect unnecessary roadblocks. Expect wasted money. Expect the project to fail, not because it was a bad idea, but because you had poor execution. Here's what I want you to do. Subscribe and like this video. Open the HubSpot user persona generator. Click into this video where I'll take you through a simulation of a product road mapping workshop with my agency, Upstack Studio. Now that you have clarity on different elements of a roadmap, let's put it to practice. Hope you find this video useful and see you in the workshop.